year, my sorority at Texas A&M, Kappa Alpha Theta, puts on an annual 5K race, which benefits our two philanthropies, Scotty's House and CASA. After working on 5K for the past 2 years, I've begun to consider nonprofit work as a possible career path. This past spring, I had the opportunity to serve as the operations chairman for our 5K. Through this role, I was able to work closely with Scotty's House and CASA and to see how their organizations function, and especially to see how rewarding and beneficial their work can be. If you've ever volunteered or visited a library or a museum even, then you've participated in a nonprofit organization. They affect our lives every day. Nonprofits have a big impact on the entire world, and Scotty's House and CASA are just two examples of people who are making a difference. Firstly, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the nonprofit sector as a whole. According to www.snpo.org, owned by Society for Nonprofits, a nonprofit organization differs from a for-profit organization in that the profits that nonprofits make are put directly back into their programs, whereas with a for-profit organization, they use their profits and distribute them to their owners and stockholders. There are 5 different categories of nonprofit organizations. There are trade associations, charitable organizations, social clubs, government groups, and political groups. The National Charity for Charitable Statistics reports that there are over 1.5 million nonprofits registered today. This was found on their website, www.nccs.urban.org. Some examples of these are the Smithsonian Museum, the George Bush Library, and even Make-A-Wish Foundation. CASA and CASA are examples of charitable organizations. These organizations are usually made up of a mission statement, which states their purpose and what they do. They also rely heavily on their volunteers and staff. Volunteers especially are very important for the time and the money and resources that they donate. www.charitynavigator.org, owned by Charity Navigator, says that the majority of giving actually comes from individuals. In 2013 alone, roughly $240.6 billion were given. That's just money donations. Imagine how many hours were donated as well, and how big of a difference that made to those organizations. I'm sure they're able to have a very big impact. Secondly, I'd like to tell you a little bit about CASA and Scotty's House. CASA is a national child advocacy organization that functions through small sectors around the country. The sector in Bryan College Station area is the Voices for Children sector. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. A CASA volunteer is a specially trained adult who goes through the entire process of reporting child abuse with the child, going through court and advocating for their rights. They will stay with the child throughout the entire process until they are placed in a safe foster care home. Oftentimes, this adult is the only steady presence in the child's life. About 238,000 kids go into the CASA system each year, according to www.casaforchildren.org, owned by CASA. I'd like to show you a picture of a CASA volunteer with the child that she advocates for. As you can see, volunteers are especially important to organizations like CASA. Without them, they could not truly function. Scotty's House is a local organization right in our very own Bryan, Texas. Their website, www.scottyshouse.org, owned by Scotty's House, reports that 250,000 cases of child abuse are reported in Texas each year. That's just in Texas, and that's just the cases that are reported. Enter Scotty's House. This organization partners with local police to help make the process less traumatizing for children as they report their child abuse. When a child enters the process and begins to report their child abuse, oftentimes they are made to tell their story over and over again to very different people throughout the process. This makes the process that is supposed to be there to serve them justice even more traumatizing for them. Scotty's House fixes this problem. When a child enters Scotty's House, they immediately record the traumatic experience for the last time, so as to help end their pain more quickly. Since 1995, Scotty's House has served 7 different counties, providing forensic, advocacy, counseling, and education and outreach services to to help enrich the lives of the local people and children. As their slogan says, it's where the healing begins. Finally, I'd like to say that nonprofit work would be a very satisfying job. There are over 1.5 million organizations to get involved with, and as I've said, volunteers are extremely important to organizations such as CASA and Scotty's House, who are working to improve the child abuse system. We can all do our part, even in very small ways. Even the tiniest little hour spent volunteering can make a large difference. The comment made by Betty Blender sums up the reasons why I want to go into nonprofit work. She said, "When people go to work, they shouldn't have to leave their hearts behind. I can't wait to take my heart to work with me wherever I do end up." Thank you.